here, all Munoz girls. Two of them are at Edinburg High. Both Miriela and Milena are at Edinburg High, and Miranda is currently at UTRGV, and she's a McHi High alum. So, girls, welcome to the show.
Hi.
So, how have you guys been, and what have you guys been up to lately?
So we still have to go to training. At least for me, we still have club training through Zoom. So that's what we've been doing. I've been watching like all the shows, keeping up on school, all that.
Same for me. I'm still doing some schoolwork, almost done with the semester. Checking in with my coaches and teammates, just doing honestly a lot of schoolwork, a lot of time to reflect on the season, on my semester as a student. So it's a lot of reflection right now.
Mainly, we've just been working out and just keeping up with our schoolwork. We have a lot. We've been getting a lot of work recently.
We're almost done.
You guys, I'm sure you guys do Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. What shows y'all binge watching?
I watch Grey's Anatomy.
I just finished Little Fires Everywhere on Hulu, and it's really good, so I recommend that one.
I've been watching Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds, that's a popular one. A lot of people have been mentioning Criminal Minds. Nobody's watched that Tiger King show?
Yeah. We watched it together. It was really funny.
Yeah, I know that one's a real popular one. What about Ozark?
Oh my God, yes. I watched Ozark. I just finished all the seasons. It's really, really good. I loved it.
Season 3 was pretty good, huh?
Season 3 ended so crazy. So yeah, I'm excited to see it.
Season 3 was the best one. I watched that one probably within a week. I couldn't stop watching it.
Definitely. I got my mom into it, so she finished that really quick too.
What about All American? I know that's another popular one.
Yeah. It was good.
Season 2 was like the best one.
I like season 1 better.
Season 1 was good, yeah. Let's start with you guys. How are you guys managing keeping in shape? All of y'all are soccer players, and it's a different sport to where, football, softball, baseball, it requires a little bit of different workouts. But for you guys can be in a backyard and kick a ball around anywhere. So how have you guys managed to work with drills and keep in shape as far as soccer goes?
So on Mondays and Wednesday, our club coach has a Zoom meeting through, and we work out with like footwork there. And then like throughout the week, like they make us like run, or they give us exercises to do, and we do those. And then we just have to like do check-ins. So like we just touch the ball.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to mine as well. We did get emailed our fitness program for this awkward time that we had with this quarantine. We also had our strength and conditioning coach send us some workouts through our little Teamworks app that we use. And then with the training program that Titi does, luckily our trainer, who has worked with us for forever, also invites me to do that footwork and stuff on Zoom. So I participate in that. And then I love biking and running, so I've been doing that too, which is just helping keep into the motion of just doing that stuff. So it's a little bit of everything, honestly, just as much as you can do with the time we have now. So it's not too boring to just go. If we ever get bored and are tired of doing schoolwork and tired of watching TV, it's super easy to just get a ball and start kicking around. I know we like to play in our neighborhood on the street, so we do some street soccer most of the times, and we invite our older sister who also played in high school and stuff like that. So it's always a 2v2 situation. Always trying to see which sisters are better.
So how intense does that get?
Oh, that can get so intense. It's always an older sister with a younger sister.
Yeah.
And sometimes me and my older sister want to play against them, and they're always like, no, it has to be fair. Then we start making up the rules as we go, and we're like, no, you can't do that. That doesn't happen. You can't kick the ball in like that. So it's always entertaining. I know my mom enjoys coming out in the front yard and seeing what type of mess we're doing with the ball and some cones. So yeah, but it's fun because it's so easy to just, hey, let's go outside. Let's start kicking the ball around. So it's always fun doing that.
Definitely. A lot of the athletes that have come on here, whether they're in college or in high school, they mention the time management and having a healthy schedule when it comes to athletics. Have you guys found that groove? I mean, I imagine now everyone's kind of found a routine more or less.
Yeah, well, for me, I struggled with that in the beginning of my first semester in college. I had not so much time on my hands, but just so much to do, and I needed to focus on how I was going to get everything done. So luckily, me and my advisor worked out a way for me to plan my entire week with all my assignments, all my workouts, everything like that. So luckily, my advisor was so helpful in that I learned how to do that for myself now. So with the new adjustment, with this quarantine and stuff like that, didn't really change that much. Just planning my week from starting on Sunday to seeing what I'm gonna have every day, what my due dates are, things like that was probably the easiest. I know if I have a stressful schedule and I have a lot of things to do on a certain day, I try to work around that to go either run in the morning, run later at night, just working out what the best like time to do everything will be.
Yeah, so like I have a routine, so like every day is the same thing, or like I dedicate 2 days just for school, so I finish all my schoolwork, and then the rest are like just for like exercise and training. And then like if you just keep the same routine, it just becomes easier.
Yeah, and like when I wake up and then I do some work and then I stop and then we'll do some workouts and then we'll come back and maybe finish it. If we don't, then we'll just do it like at the end of the week or something.
Definitely. So we're gonna do a little small Q&A, like we mentioned earlier. Just a couple questions. I'm sure you guys are familiar with it and how it works. So first question is, who's the best cook?
Milena, she loves cooking for everyone in the house.
What do you like to cook?
Small.
Oh, she has like the best grilled cheese.
Yeah,
I
grilled
always
cheese,
eat grilled cheese.
pizza.
Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Once in a while, I'll make spaghetti.
She just like wakes up in the morning and then you just smell like stuff in the kitchen and like, oh.
Or like at the end of the day when we're all tired, we're like, okay, so Mello, do you want to make something for us? And she's like, oh, luckily Mello's like the nice sister, so she's like, yeah, I guess I'll make something.
I'm hungry too.
Yeah, so it always ends up good, so it's fine.
Definitely. Who's the best singer?
Mello.
Milena loves to sing. She'll sing whenever, any song, absolutely any song. She knows every single lyrics, no matter what. And we're like, okay, great. Yeah.
Who's the most social?
I think it has to be between you two.
I think it would be. Miriela's pretty quiet.
Yeah.
I was quiet, but now I don't think I'm as quiet as I was.
But I think
I've never been.
But
quiet.
I'm like outgoing. Like,
yeah, Milena is pretty much like we'll go and like meet someone new and be like best friends and stuff like
Social
that.
butterfly.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's the shyest?
Miriela.
Yeah.
She is not afraid of speaking, but like she's typically like, oh my god, no, like you guys can go do that. Like I think
Mello, go do it.
Yeah, I think the best thing is when we're like out for dinner or something, and she's like, oh mom, like I want to take this food home, and we're like, okay, just ask for your box, and she's like, oh no, I can't do that.
She's like, Mello, can you ask?
Can someone else do that for me? Which that's pretty much Titi. So Titi's typically the shy one.
Who sleeps the most?
Sleep Mello.
Yeah, I feel like we get up pretty early. I think we're pretty much.
We've been like waking up super
early. Oh, yeah, I usually sleep.
It's because she stays up super late, and then it's like she sleeps throughout the day, and it's like, oh, when is she gonna wake up?
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna switch gears and talk some more about some soccer. Obviously, the Lady Bobcats, you guys were in a position to make the playoffs, and I want to say we were heading right into the by-district round. Once everything got on pause, you guys could just take us back to that week, and once you guys heard that the season was being put on pause, what was that reaction like with you guys' team?
Yeah, so we ended that Friday with our game against Bella, so we won that 2-1, and then I guess that Saturday or Sunday we heard that UIL was just gonna cancel everything, and it was just like,
well, they're gonna put it on pause. They weren't gonna cancel it.
They weren't gonna cancel it yet. They were just gonna like maybe set it back or reschedule it. So we were just like, oh, like this was like we're gonna go to playoffs because we had one more game for district before playoffs. So we had to play Donna North, and if we won Donna North, we would have been second seed. But since we didn't get to play and didn't go to playoffs, it was just like, oh, like our season end, and it was like bad for our seniors. Like we felt bad for them.
Yeah, and during that week, I wasn't at school still because I was in Mercedes, and so everything like Miguel was texting me during the week, like, oh, they might stop like our season and all that. And I was like, okay, well let's just play on Friday. Let's focus on our game on Friday. And we went out there. we played. I didn't play till the second half, but that was fine. But
Yeah, she came in from being at the livestock show.
I had just finished showing, and my friend was still there with me. She was still gonna play, so we were like, "Let's go!" Like as soon as I walked out of the arena with my last animal, I had to run to her car, and we were in Edinburg. Like it was the longest drive ever. It felt like we never got there. We like went in at the last like 4 minutes of the first half, and we were like, "Whoa!" Like we did not think we were gonna make it.
Mm-hmm. At that time, knowing everything that was kind of starting to happen, did you guys have any, like, obviously there was a lot of uncertainty, but were there a little bit of nerves knowing that this could be it for a little while? I mean, obviously at that time we didn't know.
We went into that game, and it was just like, if this is our last game, we want to make sure we finish like how we want it to end. So we like worked hard like the whole 90 minutes. We tried to win, and then we came out with the win. So I think we did what we had to do.
And after we scored our second goal, we still had about like 30 minutes left in the last. So those were like the scariest 30 minutes of our lives, honestly. We felt like the game never wanted to end. We were scared. We wanted to score another one, but we couldn't get one in, but that was okay. But it was really a scary game, honestly. And because it was like Bella, we didn't want to lose again.
Yeah, and then obviously, a couple weeks, I think it's been 2 weeks since UIL announced that there were going to be no more sports for the rest of the spring season. Just how did you guys find out that news? And, did you guys have any kind of team meeting or anything like that?
Yeah, so I guess, I want to say it was like 3 weeks after spring break, we got a Zoom meeting from our coach, and he was like, just letting us know like how UIL was going to, like, if they were going to bring it back or not. And then they said they weren't. So then he was just telling us like what we needed to do to keep us in shape. So he was just like letting us know stuff.
And then we're just telling us about like our uniforms and turning in all our equipment and all that mainly. Oh yeah.
Was it a little surreal? Because I know when everything first started, we started, to hear things about, social distancing and how the stores were limiting people. And then I don't know if you guys ever went out to the stores, but when I went, they were limiting people in, and it's like, oh, wow, this is real. And then seeing the stickers on the floor 6 feet apart, and everything just started to become a reality little by little.
Yeah.
Was it that way for you guys? Was it your season that you're like, this is real once the season got canceled?
Right. It just became a lot more serious. Like the season got canceled, and then even going outside, like seeing all the people wearing masks, it's like, oh, so we have to worry about this.
And Miranda, for you, a college athlete, where were you guys at during the season?
So we were about to finish up our spring season. We had a one more game against UTSA, and then unfortunately it had to get canceled with all the precautions with the virus and everything. But luckily for me in the spring, and a lot of my other teammates as well, especially the younger classmen, we got a lot of minutes in the spring. So it was a great experience getting back on the field and doing all that spring stuff to get us ready for like our summer programs and get us closer to the fall season. So it was a little heartbreaking that we had ended so short. But I mean, it was honestly a great experience because I had gotten some minutes in the spring, and it was a lot better from what I had experienced in the fall when we are in season to what we do in the spring. So being in my first year, it was a different experience, but honestly I understand that it was for the better. So
yeah, and see, for college it was different than high school, because college automatically just put a nail in it and said we're done for the rest of the year. There was no waiting around like the way the high school was. So just how was that for a college athlete, just knowing from 1 minute to the next it's done and that's it?
I know it's really different for certain sports. For us, for soccer, we are a fall sport, so we did get into our regular season and we did well. But I know a lot of my friends that are athletes that do spring focused had a rough time I know it was so hard for me because we all watch each other, we all support each other, so it's kind of hard when we see some of our friends work so hard in the off season getting ready for their regular season, and then getting that news. I know it was really tough for some of us. One of my really close friends, who's a rower at UT, she didn't get to get her first season in, but luckily, I mean, she's still working hard. So I know it's different. It's different for certain sports, but I mean, soccer was fortunate to get their season in.
Definitely. So, for Edinburg High, you girls are only sophomores. You guys are going to be coming back. What are you guys looking most forward to next year? I mean, again, it's tough when you guys are starting to peak. You're getting ready for the playoffs, and all of a sudden, everything just comes to a halt. So it's really like hitting the reset button for next year for you guys.
So I think our goal just for next year is to prove that we still are the team. Like we could still work together and like reach our goals. But like since we're changing, I think it's changing the district or the area,
Our placement.
our placement. So we're playing a whole new opponents plus rivals, and it's gonna be a lot harder. But I mean, if we're willing to work, we got it.
Yeah, we did lose like 1 or 2 seniors this year, which wasn't as bad as we did last year. But it's still gonna be interesting how we play next year, and if we can prove where we were and how we are.
So, in sports, I know softball. Some of the girls we've had on here earlier, they play a lot of travel ball, and there's, the camaraderie there runs really deep, and everyone knows each other from this team or that team. Is it the same way in soccer, where everyone knows each other, and some go to South, some go to McAllen, some go to Edinburg? What is that like in the soccer world, soccer community, the travel ball?
No, it's the same. Like we all together on the weekends, either up in San Antonio or anywhere. And then when we come to high school, it's like we're going against each other. But it's still like on the field, yeah, we're against each other. But like once we get off, it's way different. Like we still like when we come together, support each other. Yeah.
Just how competitive is it? Because I know some girls will say that the travel ball softball is just as competitive because in their case, they're trying to get looked at. They're trying to get scouted. So, is it the same level of competition in travel ball with soccer?
Yes, like it's a team sport, but we all have our own goals and we all want to reach them. So like sometimes it does get like super competitive with like the people in there, but like I think it's just team. So like we work together.
Miranda, you want to chime in? You look like you wanted to chime in. I know you played a lot of travel ball.
With that too. I know in the high school, it's a completely different atmosphere. I mean, I was in it just a while back, but I mean, luckily with where I went, I was at McHi. Luckily, every single player on that team played with me on the weekends with our club team. And I think that was an advantage to us. Every single one of us, we were pretty much club players, and we either played with our one club or played with another or played with a higher league. So I think what benefits a lot with the club environment is that you go up and you play, but you play pretty much the best players from around the area. And so you're playing the best players on the weekdays, you're playing the best players in the valley, but then you're playing other players in the area, which is probably the best competition there is. So I know that club, especially for soccer, is probably where you want to be most of the time and where you're going to get the most exposure for what you want to achieve if it's the college level. So I would say that club is pretty beneficial, but it is fun. The atmosphere for high school soccer is really fun. You get to compete and show what you got to your valley rivals. So it's pretty fun. I had a great experience, I guess.
What was the biggest transition on the field on playing, at the D1 level? Was it the speed, size, or what was the biggest change for you?
Well, I want to say that my junior year of high school, when I tore my ACL and then having to take some time off to recover, that was probably the hardest training spot of my possible career. It was really hard to get back to where I was and then to get better, because I knew that when I was going to come back into the atmosphere, people were going to be either looking down on me, and I didn't want that. So I needed to make sure that I wanted to be at the level and be satisfied with my level. So my senior year went pretty well, did really good. We did really, really well there at McHi. But then just adjusting for the summer that I was looking forward to for my fall season for UTRGV was a lot of preparation. I worked with a lot of my close trainers that helped me get ready for that. And then when I stepped onto that field in the early August, when we go and report for we go and report for fall season. Oh my God, it was completely different. It was something that I expected. I knew that level was going to be high. It was going to be demanding. But I realized that that anybody and everyone is capable of doing it. You just have to put in the time and the effort. So with that, I decided, okay, like this is obviously something that I want to do. This is something that I really want to be a part of. So going from practicing in the morning to school all day, to coming back home and being absolutely exhausted, I knew that there was something that I needed to do just to make myself different from the rest. I went into a position where there was a lot of upperclassmen. So I knew that if I wanted a chance, that I needed to work harder and be smarter on the field. So with that, I was doing any little extra thing I could do with upperclassmen, either going on runs or working out, doing extra hours in the weight room. So it just depends. But I mean, my experience as a freshman in the program was amazing. My teammates are amazing. They're my best friends now, so it's great. But yeah, I mean, the biggest transition was being comfortable on the field again, because everybody is so good. Everybody, when you get into that level, everybody was their number one in high school. Everybody was their number one in that area. So you're playing with everybody that's amazing. So you have to realize that you belong there. You need to have confidence in yourself, which I struggled with that a lot. So for me, it was having the confidence level to be able to play and to do well and to believe in myself. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Where do you guys feel that, the Valley, where soccer is at? Obviously soccer, it's a growing sport as far as popularity in the Valley, particularly in the lower Valley. They take their soccer serious down there in Brownsville and then in McAllen. As a whole, where do you feel the game of soccer is at as far as a competitive level when, we see our Valley teams go up against teams from upstate?
Well, I think that exposure is amazing when we go up. I know I've been fortunate to make it to some top 16 in the state and stuff like that with regionals and stuff. So I know that exposure is incredible. But it gets kind of funny because when you start playing up there in that type of level, you're actually playing against the other club teams that you're going on the weekends for. So then you start noticing them and you start kind of befriending them. And you're like, oh, well, I just played you last week. I guess I'm going to have to go play you again in high school. So that's a little bit funny. But I think that the exposure here in the Valley for soccer has definitely increased. Hopefully there's a little bit more push for girls soccer. I mean, with everything going on with the US, FIFA, everything like that, I know that they're trying to make that equality back up. But for here in the Valley, I know that we slowly gained that increase of support with girls soccer and stuff like that. And I wish that there was more exposure because we do have some incredible athletes in here in the Valley. Luckily, we have to go either to San Antonio or Austin to get that exposure. But I think for every Valley athlete that's looking to play at the next level, it's just to continue to do what you're doing, to grind and to just work hard, both on and off the field if you really want to achieve that college level.
So before we wrap up, what do you guys miss most about sports, whether that's baseball, basketball, watching it, being a part of it? What do you guys miss most?
I don't think we really watch that much sports. Like, we used to just watch soccer.
Yeah.
So, like, when their season ended.
I think I don't know for the high school, but for me, the whole thing I miss is like the camaraderie with my teammates, like missing them. I pretty much don't see them. And if I see them, it's on our Zoom calls with our coaches. So for me, what I miss the most is like going to lunch with my friends, going to weights right after practice and walking all the way across campus and just catching up and doing stuff like that. So for me, it's more of the camaraderie with my teammates that I miss. I mean, it's crazy that we were with like all of our teammates and friends for like so many plus hours, and then all of a sudden we stopped that like immediately. So that's crazy. But I mean, hopefully everything goes well and we can pick it back up for the summer and see everybody again.
You don't want to chime in? That's it?
Yeah. Well, I miss all my friends from soccer. It was like, that's my family. We work together. Like, we work hard together. So
we see each other like every day in the hallways, after school and lunch. We're always together. It's every minute.
That's probably most of like what team sport players say is that
even like working like together, like practicing together with like our team is just so much like better.
Yeah. I mean, like, even if we get mad at each other, we're still going to be, like, friends at the end of the day.
So definitely missing our teammates is probably the most.
I know you guys are really big soccer fans. Just how big soccer fans are you guys? I know y'all mentioned the Women's World Cup earlier. Was that religiously in the Munoz house?
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
It's like that. Like, we would go out just to go watch them.
Yeah, anytime the women are playing, especially like World Cup, it is always, if the World Cup's on, unfortunately the Olympics is not going to be held, but like World Cup, it's every single time the U.S. is playing, we've got to go out to eat and watch the game. Like, that's a must-have. Yeah. And we get to, when our trainer comes down from Austin, we have to go and see him. We have to go and watch the game with him. So yeah, I don't know. We love those. And then also watching just other college soccer, like the College Cup and stuff like that, is always fun to watch too. So yeah.
Who's y'all's favorite team in college?
I don't know if I can I say, I think I have to say my own team.
I don't know. What about the Twins?
I like UT. UT soccer.
Yeah, well, Stanford won.
Stanford
So I watched Stanford win.
Or how about growing up, Miranda? Growing up, what team did you enjoy watching?
The team I enjoyed watching the most was UT soccer. Me and my dad would go watch their games. My dad's a big Longhorn fan. He went to school there, so constant Longhorn Network type of view. Yeah. So I think growing up, it was definitely UT soccer was probably one of my biggest options there if I wanted to go play soccer. But I feel like nowadays I watch more like pro soccer, like pro women's soccer. So definitely like Orlando Pride or North Carolina Courage is probably Houston Dash. So I like watching more of the professional soccer because you see some of those players that did play in the college level and see now where they are, or if they're playing with their national team, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, I like more of the national and professional leagues.
Y'all have a favorite player?
My favorite player is Carly Lloyd. I love her mindset on the game. I read a couple of her books and her outlook on what soccer has taught her. And like I mentioned, like one of my biggest things was gaining confidence during my freshman year. So I read a lot of some self-help and a lot of other blogs and stuff from other college athletes and pro athletes about believing in yourself and what you can do and stuff like that. So for me, Carly Lloyd is probably one of my favorite players on and off the field. Her mindset on the game is incredible. So that's someone I look up to. I'm more of she doesn't play my position. I play center back, but she's someone that I definitely look up to her when she's talking about what the game means to her and what her mindset and what she believes is a good player and what she believes is a good performance.
Mine's Alex Morgan. For club, I would wear 13th just because I loved her. So that's why.
I'm a big Megan Rapinoe fan. I love her. I love the way she just stands. Like, she uses soccer as her platform to say what she wants and put her message across the world.
I'm going to have to brush up on my soccer because the only one I knew was Alex Morgan.
Oh gosh, there's so many more incredible players. Every single player on the women's national team for the U.S. incredible. Tobin Heath, Christian Press,
amazing.
Julie Johnson's another girl that I look up to. She's amazing. Yep.
Definitely. Before we go, any shout outs or that you guys want to give to any family or friends watching?
Mom.
Hi, Mom. I know she's watching this. She's in the other room right now, and she's checking up on us. So I know she's watching. I know her dad's watching.
Yeah. All our family.
All of
most of our friends.
I'm sure some teammates of mine too.
Yes.
So shout out to UTRGV Women's Soccer. So yeah, but thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to come and talk.
Definitely, yeah. So Edinburg High, Miriela and Milena Munoz from Edinburg High, both sophomores. They're twins, joined by their older sister Miranda Munoz, who's a McHi alum and currently playing soccer at UTRGV. So that wraps up our series of shows today. Girls, I want to thank you guys for joining us, making the time out of y'all's schedule to come on here and talk some soccer.
Yeah,
Oh,
thank
no,
you so
thank
much.
you so much for
Thank
giving
you
us
having
this.
us.
Yeah.
Of course. So be sure to tune in back with us on Monday. We have shows at 1, 3, and 5 o'clock. We're putting together that schedule, so we'll let you guys know who's next on our schedule on Monday. But for now, we'll see you guys later. Stay home, stay safe, and stay healthy.
Perfect.
Bye.